Hello, my name is Marty DeBerge. I'm a filmmaker.
Having your director introduce the film as a joke in 1984 and giving the 2020s the idea that every movie needed someone from the movie to tell us how important movies are before we watch the movie we paid $20 to see, as if Twisters with a S is the epitome of cinema's ongoing effort to save society. Just get to the movie, Glenn. I want to see the swirly death clouds already.
To a rock club called the Electric Banana. Don't look for it, it's not there anymore.
Probably because it never was. And if this movie is just going to make stuff up, how do I know it's a parody? Also, can someone tell me what a parody is?
I heard a band that, for me, redefined the word rock and roll.
Not specifying if that redefinition was for better or worse. For example, Wonder Woman 1984 redefined how much I could dislike movies.
They've earned a distinguished place in rock history as one of England's loudest bands.
Pandering to me specifically so that I'll feel better about the award on my wall that says CinemaSins, one of YouTube's most uploadiest channels.
I wanted to capture the sights, the sounds, the smells of a hard-working rock band on the road.
Movie does not include a scratch and sniff card. A spinal tap is A, the Latin term for your paternal grandfather, B, a routine gynecological procedure for aging capybaras, C, the street name for a spicy Albanian cola, or D, a slur to describe anyone who doesn't understand satire. This lad's complete lack of shame about signifying with his line of sight what he finds interesting about this woman's ideas. Come on, man, at least wear some shades to hide your gaze like the rest of us. Rest of them. We can't really play it, but I'll go ahead and get a sin removal out of the way for the songs in this thing that ride that perfect line of ridiculous enough to get a laugh, but proficient enough to sound authentic. It's a masterful balance that is sure to not leave a dry seat in the house.
Let's talk a little bit about the history of the group.
Documentary makers who think their questions need to be included in the movie. It isn't about you, Michael. Errol. Morgan. Little known fact, this building in the background is a 2-scale replica of the castle used in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They couldn't film at the original site because at the time it was being used by the Queen of England to store her The Princess Bride memorabilia while it was being restored. This key signature suggests G major, but the sharp is closer to an E sharp than an F sharp. So apparently the Thamesmen invented a new key signature, and the documentary never even mentions it.
What happened to him?
He died. He died in a bizarre gardening accident some years back.
Making light of the fact that an Englishman's only known natural predator is an untamed petunia.
You
French
can't
lecturer in
really
photographing.
dust for vomit.
Well, not with that attitude you can't.
Soho, they call it Soho.
So what?
Come on, lad, Soho.
There happens to be a very famous Soho in London, the place these guys are from. So I'm not sure why this appears to be such an alien place name to them. Whenever I imagine the lewd debauchery of a rock and roll launch party, a distraction I allow myself once or twice a day, I tend to imagine booze, drugs, and scantily clad dancers, not the awkward stage debut of a new Microsoft operating system.
Yes, Bobby Blackman.
Bobby, of course. How are you?
With the roaster.
Thinking that this voice would make a great sitcom lead 7 years later and being 100% without exception correct.
Kids, this is Sir Dennis Eaton Hogg.
Sudden pre-MCU Noble Steed. Sudden baby Dana Carvey 2 years before SNL.
Come on, don't talk back. Mime is money.
Sudden baby Billy Crystal who only appears for this line.
Did you get to the part yet where Sammy's coming out of the copa?
Rat Pack spoiler oblivious limo drivers. Shots where the director's sweaty beard takes up half the screen. Also, why is our rockumentarian riding up front with the limo driver instead of being in the back with the people he's rockumentarying? In case you confused it with Felicity Hall, who lives in Philadelphia. We are deep into Big Bottom now, and this sin is that the line, the bigger the waistband, the deeper the quicksand, hasn't entered the common vernacular quite yet. If they could get these bum hits on time, then this song would really slap.
They are treading water in a sea of retarded sexuality and bad poetry.
That's nitpicking, isn't it?
Disregarding nitpicking as a valid artistic expression.
Yeah, there's no way to promote something that doesn't exist.
Somewhere in the region of 10,000 religions would take an issue with that statement. Well, best case scenario, 9,999 of them.
The other thing is that the Boston gig has been cancelled.
Thinking Tap cares whether or not a completely different band's gig has been canceled.
I mean, what's
You
offensive?
put a greased, naked woman
Yes.
on all fours
Yes.
with a dog collar
With a dog
around her
collar.
neck and a leash.
The Sabrina Carpenter discourse.
We don't have this mentality anymore.
Well, you should have
Listen
seen
to
the
me.
cover they wanted to do.
Trying to sell someone on a broken nose because it isn't as bad as a brain tumor.
That
They're
old one, huh?
boycotting the album only because of the cover.
Something no one brings up is that being rejected by 2 huge businesses is pretty f***ing rock and roll. Might even make for some good publicity. Wait, I thought this was being shot on their American tour. So where the hell are you finding a chippy in the U.S. that sells fish and chips, and more importantly, do they have a nice chicken and mushroom pie?
Cry.
All the way home, yeah.
Fairly simple. It's about six words in the whole song, you know.
Actually, there were 30 unique words in the part you just sang alone. Not sure how I can take any of this documentary seriously with that kind of sloppy mathing.
We've got, armadillos in our trousers.
This is a terrible animal to represent the male genitalia. I'm just saying, there's a reason you've never seen an armadillo at your local shop.
You'd like bigger bread?
Exactly. I don't understand how
You could
it's like.
fold this, though. I mean, you could
Well,
try-
no, then it's half the size.
No, not
Christopher Guest is a legend. I understand Nigel is upset about the quality of the food options backstage, but I'd like to register my disgust with all humans who put any kind of footwear on any raised surface for any amount of time. Keep your fetid feet covers off my table, you monsters. The song in this scene is titled Hellhole, and I have no idea why a band from England would dedicate a song to Ohio. Hen shadowing.
Don't touch it.
I wasn't gonna touch it.
No, don't touch it.
I was just pointing at it.
Well, don't point even.
Don't
You
even
can't.
point.
Direct transcription of my college girlfriend and I's nightly conversation somehow makes it into the script. All jokes aside, this exchange about Nigel's precious guitar is an expertly executed metaphor exemplifying how the creative process should be respected and not analyzed or picked apart in any meaningful fashion. Something I bet most directors wish CinemaSins would observe if only we weren't so busy dragging our proverbial balls over the delicate frets of their movies.
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Except not the bass amp, right? Because nobody, except maybe members of the French Revolution, would understand something at base 11. Math and history jokes combined!
We have a slight problem with your reservation. Nothing serious, I'm afraid.
This whole exchange is so weird. The desk dude has booked them into one room instead of 7, which is a very serious problem, as Ian will point out. But then Ian will make some homophobic comment and then return to the band, having secured 7 rooms. So what was the point? If there were 7 other rooms available, why didn't the hotel guys start with that? All we learned here is that Ian is a homophobic dick instead of a run-of-the-mill dick, building too big of a pamphlet wall and having to repeat the same pamphlets in several slots, including this pamphlet that is separated from its pamphlet brothers a couple of slots down. Like no one put any thought into this at all. What are we even doing?
It's such a fine line between stupid and clever.
CinemaSins.
Now, I noticed this here, you've got this cricket bat here.
Yes.
You play?
No, I carry this partly out of. I mean, it's a kind of totemistic thing, you know.
Choosing to carry a cricket bat as your totem. It's so big, and how would you even use it to test if you're awake or sleeping? Still better than that stupid wedding ring idea, though.
Janine, she's gonna come meet us.
For all the fun in this movie, it really does play the hits with the easy targets sometimes. It's still funny, but instead of aping the obvious spouse the rest of the band hates trope, maybe come up with another Joko that is your own hoe.
The Dunsman later changed their names to Spinal Tap. They're currently residing in the Where Are They Now file.
Oh, that must be stored right next to the play this random 20-year-old song from an obscure UK band just in case said band happens to be listening and requires the emotional kicked out of them file.
Do it with the harmony parts.
All right. Well, since my baby. The same key, though, I think.
I could watch an entire movie of these 3 pretending to try and harmonize together, but the universe has only granted me these 40 seconds.
There's too much perspective now.
Social media.
Let's do GSM, all right? GSM.
Thinking a band that had transitioned from a pop sensation of the 60s to metal would ever want to touch the music they did 20 years ago as a boy band. And yes, I'm aware the humor is being derived from this juxtaposition, but it spoils the character development of what until this point has been a very straightforward dramatic film. All of these seats that are a different shade of red than all these other seats. And people call this a classic.
So it's just going to be like this, all
It's going to be
black.
that simple, beautiful, classic.
The compromise on the album cover is that it's all black, which is a funny commentary on how an interfering record label might actually handle this, until it goes nowhere. It's just a white album parody that lands like a, I don't know, some kind of transportational balloon made of an inappropriately weighted metal.
It's like a Black Mirror.
The scene does not contain a robot dog questioning its reality while visiting a past version of itself in a photograph where it was starring in a meta version of a show on Streamberry about the time it f***ed a pig.
You're like rationalising this whole thing like into something that you did on purpose.
My response to every bullshit director interview for every bullshit Marvel movie thinking it's 3 Days of the Condor or some shit somehow makes it into the script.
This is something you wear around your arm. You don't put this on your f***ing turntable.
David.
To be fair, if you're putting album covers on your turntable, nothing is going to sound very appealing. POV, at that time I rested my balls on a flashlight to see if I could manually work out my sperm count somehow makes it into the movie. Yes, this is a cry for help. This insensitive stagehand who doesn't realize that if you don't let the bassist get themselves out of the mechanical embryo, that they will never grow the muscles they need to survive in the wild. Stop stealing the struggle, man. Now the stagehand isn't even bothering to hammer in rhythm with the song. It's almost like he wants to be incompetent at this point.
The law of averages says you will survive.
Yeah.
Mick currently survives this taunting of the fates about Mick currently surviving this.
This is Cindy's first mustache.
Interestingly, Cindy's first mustache is one of the many failed attempts to break into the American market by the famous British doll.
Like have a look at the new game. It's like a submarine thing.
Reducing Polaris to a submarine thing. Put some respect on that piece of advanced technology. That game won a Certificate of Merit for Best Action Video Game from the Archie Awards in 1984. Thank you very much. This is Christopher Guest actually playing the piano, and I'm just going to go ahead and sin the inequitable distribution of talent on this planet. It's wrong. Mayim Bialik also gets to be a brilliant neuroscientist. Is Margot Robbie's acting prowess not enough that she also gets to be a skilled tattoo artist? Why should Steve Martin get to be a comedy legend and a talented banjo player? Talent should be taken from the talent rich and given to the talent poor, just as Robin Hood intended.
In D minor, which I always find is really the saddest of all keys.
Thinking one minor key is any sadder than another. There's no reason musically or mathematically that would make D any different.
What do you call this?
Well, this piece is called Lick My Love Pump.
Ah, I see. Well, movie still waited too long to explain why the key needed to be in D. But why, for the love of forced comedic setups, did he decide to wrap a cucumber in foil?
Would you,
I know the 80s was a faraway land, but surely even then they took people into a side room of some sort before asking them to unbutton their sausage hampers, or whatever the crazy Brits decided to call pants back then. Heavy Duty is the worst song of the movie, and it fails to justify the continued reliance on crotch angles that result from its inclusion. Is this marquee running gag getting a send-off? Yes, it is, because it's f***ing hilarious.
what's going on here?
That camera has been right in front of you since you walked in the room 30 seconds ago, Artie Fufkin, Polymer Records. So how about you dial down the fake surprise a bit, eh?
It's me. That's what it's happening. It's me. I did it. It's my fault.
Inspiring Taylor Swift tracks. While the band cluelessly walk through the guts of this building, trying to get to the stage, the documentary filmers always seem to be able to get ahead of them, despite there being little logic to where they're heading. You might even think the documentary crew would have cameras set up to record the gig, and would therefore know where the f***ing stage is.
Hello, Cleveland! Hello, Cleveland!
Cleveland!
you don't do heavy metal in Dublin, you know? I mean,
In what? In what?
For all its hilarity, the movie really does drag a bit towards this part. Unless, of course, you and your friends were quoting the Doubly-Dolby mix-up on the playground at school and I just missed it. This is supposed to be an interpretation of the Cancer astrological sign. It's interesting to know that the crabs on whatever planet of bullshit Janine comes from look like Ringo Starr with worms protruding from his skull.
Wait a minute. Have you any idea what it will cost to dress up the band as animals?
Not having the foresight to realize the possible furry financial boon that could accompany these designs.
There are solutions to our problems.
Shearer is a lot of fun in this, but his British accent is so bad I half wonder if his quiet third chair role in the band was done out of necessity and not planning. Thinking that the gratuitous nudity of playing with your shirt off wasn't enough, so you add some gratuitous violins.
This is what I was asked to build. 18 inches.
Seeing something that could be interpreted as 18 to the power of 11 or 11 to the power of 81 and just assuming 18 inches. This one's on you, Morticia. With every song having a full get-up, I assume these shows are 50% costume change, which is fine, except we never got a scene where Weird Al shows them how it's done.
And oh, how they danced. The little children of Stonehenge.
That's ancient racist.
I really think you're just making a much too big a thing out of it.
Making a big thing out of it would have been a good idea.
Nigel would be an 11 at CinemaSins, making your whole look Gryffindor scarf.
You could manage a classroom full of kids.
Acting like managing a class of kids would be easier than literally any task you can think of. There's a very good reason the collective noun for a group of kids is a burden. I'd rather spend the rest of my life mowing the literal Stonehenge using a length of string and my scrotum rather than teach a class of kids.
I don't know what you're doing, man.
don't we
Oh,
just-
shut up! I'm gonna...
Look, this is my position, okay?
These two attempt to act like they're fighting for all the some time.
You see it, Saturn's in the third house.
Uncertain if spaceship flying into a binary star system or dolphin balancing two beach balls. Have consulted Uri Geller to confirm.
We're closer than brothers.
Saying this like it's a shocker that you're closer to the person you weren't forced to live with for over a decade, who was just figuring out how to be human and spent most of their time annoying you and or injuring you like it was their job. Now, if you said you were closer than friends, now I'm listening.
It's like fire and ice, basically. You see, I feel my role in the band is to be kind of in the middle of that, kind of like lukewarm water.
Expecting me to believe that anyone in a rock band with a mustache like that has this level of self-awareness.
This is our monthly at ease weekend.
The fact that he ended up booking a rock band that was only available because of a last-minute cancellation suggests that he also f***ed up pretty hard. How do you screw up a monthly event? And why did you do zero research into the type of music they play? Did the band Pigs teach you nothing, sir?
I would like to get the playing on about 1,900 hours, if that's satisfactory.
The band will now act confused about this, even though in England the 24-hour clock is pretty mainstream even outside the military. Nigel is walking off because there are some police frequencies coming through the amps instead of just making that part of the fun. I had a professor in college who was old and needed a podium with amplification in it, and every once in a while it would pick up truckers on CB frequencies, and let me tell you, hearing about Billy Bob's adventures at Maggie's House of Honey was some of the most fun I ever had during Intro to Hermeneutics.
Excuse Excuse me, but can you play a bass line like Nigel used to on Big Bottom?
Why are they deciding to set list immediately before they go on stage? They didn't come straight from the military base to here. They must have had at least one night to figure this shit out now that Nigel has left.
You are witnesses at the new birth of Spinal Tap Mark II. Hope you enjoy our new direction.
Nobody is shown giggling when he asks the audience to enjoy their new direction. The living embodiment of the internet.
We're talking about a rock musical based on the life of Jack the Ripper.
That's already been done, lads. They just decided that a barber was more interesting than whatever we can't agree Jack was.
Seems that Sex Farm is on the charts in Japan.
Japan.
Do a good show, all right? Yeah, okay.
The fact that this ridiculous mockumentary tries to pull off some actual heart at the end is an act of arrogance that I have to sin, and I will ignore the fact that it somehow pulls it off to do so. This movie's sentimental ending, taking place during a song that is an ode to, let's just say, young love, is cognitive dissonance at its absolute peak. How quickly did this Japan tour come about? Because I'm not sure why the documentary crew would hang around or be allowed to hang around and wait for them to set up another tour just so they can record this last gig. Playing more great stuff behind a wall of credits instead of finding a way to organically include it in the movie to stretch it to 90 minutes and then use the credits for bloopers like a comedy is supposed to.
Got to 50! He died, he choked on, the official explanation was he choked on vomit.
It was actually, it was actually someone else's vomit.
He was covered with 5 pies worth of used blueberries.
This pretentious, ponderous collection of religious rock psalms is enough to prompt the question,
Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?
What about the album?
Very unimportant reason. It's just that they're just experimenting with some new packaging materials.
I find that answer vague and unconvincing.
Well, they should be sort of fairly modern in design, and they got to be easily turn off and onable.
One louder.
why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
It's over 9,000!
Test. This is mic number 1. This is mic number 1.
How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Get me out of here!
I wonder if you have as much influence over his musical expression.
Oh, it's very, very good, very good. Very comfortable, you know, well looked after, and it's in a nice position.
Do me a favor. Just kick my ass, okay? Kick this ass for a man, that's all.
And after the spanking, the oral sex.
I would like to get the playing on about 1,900 hours, if that's satisfactory.
Did I catch a niner in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
Yeah, well, I think it's time to go in. We haven't got time to discuss this now.
David.
I just want to take another look at you.